instructor with the City of Eugene River House Outdoor Community Center. Today I would like to introduce several concept terms and ideas that'll help you be more successful when you come to take a role class with the River House Outdoor program. To simplify this presentation, we're going to break things down into three categories: personal fitness and flexibility, boat fit, and the concepts of rolling. Throughout this presentation, I'll also present and define several terms to increase your understanding of kayaking and rolling. It is important to understand that rolling a kayak requires three things: calm breath control while underwater, muscle memory to put your body in the proper position, and flexibility to get your body into the position of power. The key to remember with rolling a kayak is about finesse, not strength. Breathing is a challenge when rolling because you're face up when you're underwater. This has a tendency to allow water to run up your nose and disorient you. So it is a good idea to practice holding your breath with your face underwater. Here's a few things you can try. In a pool, practice swimming on your back underwater. A great way to keep water out of your nose is to hum. This will keep positive pressure in your nasal cavity and stop water from running in. An additional option that many kayakers use is to purchase nose plugs. Even if this is the route you choose, you should still practice using nose plugs in the conditions mentioned above. This will make you familiar with how your body will react using them in strange positions. The concept that must be understood for kayak rolling is the independent movement of your upper body and your lower body. Everything in kayaking comes from this idea of focusing the large muscle groups from your paddler's core. Here are some exercises you can do to train your brain to accomplish this. First, sit on the grass and rotate your body all the way to one side and slowly bring it back to center. And then back to the other side. Do this multiple times, going nice and slow. To take this exercise to the next level, first rotate your body to one direction and then lift that same knee up to your elbow. It'll look something like this. If you have a balance ball or balance board, you can use this to really emphasize the concepts of independent movement. The idea is that your lower body can operate in a vertical plane by engaging a hip, knee, and foot, while your upper body can operate in a horizontal plane that allows your entire body to be engaged and control the kayak, making the roll happen. An additional note to think about to make this efficient is when you're sitting is to sit up nice and tall, not leaning forward, not leaning back, and staying centered right over your butt. At this point, you may realize that your core is getting really tired. This is completely normal, and the more you practice these exercises, the more your body will get strengthened and be able to compensate for these new movements. Here are a few yoga exercises that can help increase flexibility and strengthen your core. Anytime you go kayaking, you should spend about 5 minutes before each session stretching. You can be doing things such as wrist stretching, finger stretches, working your shoulders, any stretches that you think are important to kayaking for the day. Fitting the kayak is probably one of the most important components to boat control and overall comfort. The kayak should be like a running shoe, tight enough to where it's not flopping around, but loose enough to where you can wiggle your toes and hips. Here are some critical components to kayak fit. There are 5 places that should make contact with your boat: feet, thighs, hips, butt, and back. The balls of your feet should be making contact with the bulkhead or your foot pegs. Your heels should be firmly on the bottom of your kayak. Your thighs should be touching the thigh braces. Your hips should be making firm contact with the hip pads. Your butt should be planted firmly in the center of the seat and along the sides of the seat. And the back band should be snug against the small of your back. These are the 5 contact points in your kayak: thigh hooks or thigh braces, seat, hip pads, back band, and down there is your foot pegs or bulkhead. Now when I sit in my kayak, you'll notice my feet are slightly pointed. The balls of my feet are against the foot peg or bulkhead. This allows me to flex my ankle, which in turn pushes my knee and thigh into the thigh hook. If I relax my ankle, my knee and thigh will fall out of the thigh hook. This allows me to differentiate between which leg I am engaging. These 5 points work together to give you a sense that you're wearing your kayak rather than just sitting in it. Basically, the kayak becomes an extension of your body. It is critical to learn how to use a spray skirt and perform a proper wet exit out of your boat before learning how to roll. Please view our other videos that specifically address skirts and wet exits. This will be one of the first activities you do when arriving at a roll session, and it's critical that you are comfortable with skirts and wet exits before learning how to roll. This is one skill that we will teach you at the beginning of a roll class or beginning kayaking classes. So the next thing we're going to start to cover is the roll, and there's 3 positions to the roll: setup, sweep, and snap. You can think of the roll in these 3 steps or 3 positions. The setup is when you're upside down, the sweep gets you to sideways, and the snap finishes you to right side up.
See if you can pick out the 3 steps as Dave demonstrates these beautiful rolls. Setup, sweep, snap. You will notice that each of those parts flow into the next. There's nearly a cadence to the roll. Setup, sweep, snap. One more time. Setup, sweep, snap.
The first thing I want to talk about is the body position for our setup position. You're going to come forward all along the side of the boat. I'm really engaging this knee right here and my side over here. This is really pulling me forward, getting me to the side of my boat. From here, I'm going to go into my sweep position. Again, just focusing on my body position. I'm going to bring my body off to the side, again, really engaging this muscle, this knee right here and my side, really expanding out the other side of my body. This is gonna give me a good position to where I can snap really well.
Notice in this next roll that we've slowed down to half speed, how high Dave gets his body to the surface of the water. He does this by engaging his left side and his left knee. This allows him to put his body in a position of power and snap the boat back underneath himself.
Now that I'm in my sweep position, I'm set up for my snap. Keep in mind, when I'm in my sweep position, I'm engaging this knee and this side. When I transition to the snap, I'm gonna engage the opposite knee and this side. It's very difficult to practice the actual row motion on dry land and can actually be detrimental to the process of learning the roll. So if you stick with the practices points listed above, you'll be well on your way to rolling a kayak once you've arrived to the roll class. You'll be more comfortable and have a better understanding of the knowledge you need to roll a kayak.
We will leave you with this final segment that will show Dave's body position underwater. Notice that when he gets in his setup, he's really crunching his knee to the left side of his body to bring his torso to the surface of the water. This puts him in a perfect position to then move his body to the side with a beautiful sweep, which then extends his opposite side and allows him to engage the core and knee to roll the boat with a snap underneath the center of gravity, completing a perfect roll. Here is a last set of rolls that you can watch and focus on body position, setup, sweep, snap, and all the different techniques that you learned throughout this video. Thanks so much for watching, and we hope to see you very soon in a River House Outdoor Center roll class, kayak class, or other event. If you have any questions, please call or email, and we will be happy to work with you. Thanks so much, and have a great time paddling.